Okay, so welcome to the video. Thanks for joining today. Today I wanted to talk about some alternative lacing techniques you can use with your shoes. For the most part, you get a pair of shoes, you tie them, they fit you well, you're able to just tie them in a normal way, and you have no issues. However, if you get a pair of running shoes, or if you have an injury or a particular part of your foot that causes you a problem getting a good lockdown, there are some alternative lacing techniques you can try. I've had trouble where at times I've gotten the top of my foot has been inflamed for one reason or another, so there's lacing techniques for that. One of the most common ones is where your heel slips a little bit, so there's techniques for that. There's ways to loosen the toe box a little bit. So I'm going to go through just some of the common lacing techniques you can use that can help the fit of your shoe or the comfort that you're having at a particular time. I've learned these just by being a runner for 35 plus years. And also, since I've been working at the running store the last 3 years, I have learned some additional techniques. Anyway, I think they're useful. I hope you enjoy them. Okay, guys, so if you're getting pain on the top of your foot, it could be just because you have a high volume foot or you've injured the top of your foot. One of the suggested lacing techniques you can use is what we call a box lace. You come down, you loosen the laces down to that point, but instead of going across, you come into the next lace like this, like so, and like so. And then you continue lacing the rest of the way as normal. But what it does is it relieves pressure on that point in the foot. So too tight to see it, but you just tie a box lace. This can also be used if you need it more room than that. You can do it over two laces. Which means then you just go continue like that one went over, you go underneath here on both sides, and then go across and finish tying your shoe. And what that does is it definitely relieves the pressure there, and it gives you a little bit more room in the top part of the shoe. So again, if you have a really high arch and you have a high volume foot where you need a little bit more room there, this lacing technique would free up not having laces on top of your foot and work. Thanks. Okay, guys, another technique you can use is if you need a little bit more toe room, the toe space is not enough up in the front, you're basically going to start the lacing a little differently. Instead of going through and then going across with the laces, it's basically like doing a box technique, but you're doing it right at the bottom. You come through like that, you go over the top on both sides, and then continue lacing as normal. And what this does is it just gives you a little extra room up there in the forefoot. Again, none of these lacing techniques will totally substitute for a shoe that is badly misfit. But if you're close and you just need a little bit of extra room, this is like a box lace, but you just start it down at the beginning and it gives you some extra room and loosens up that toe box. Okay guys, so the most common alternate lacing technique you'll see is what we call the runner's loop. The shoe fits you pretty well, but your heel is slipping. You can feel the shoe slips down and your heel lifts up. So you want to lock that in. So the best way to do that is to use this extra little loose loop down here. And you make a little loop. You do it on the other side as well. And then you come across either side like so. And then you just tie the shoe as normal. And what that does is when you tie this extra, go through this extra knot and tighten it there, it pulls the heel up and it tightens, locks in that heel better. We call that the runner's knot. And it really does help a lot. Again, the shoe has to be fairly close to right, but if it's just slipping a little, that will usually solve the issue. Okay, another common knot tying thing is people will tie their knot. They'll do their normal way of tying. They tie their knot, but then they want to double knot it so it doesn't come undone. So then what they're doing is they're grabbing it and they pull it through like that, and it's a double knot. And it does keep it, it uses up some of the extra lace if there's extra lace there, and it keeps it from being untied. The problem you have with that is you can't untie it easily, and you sometimes this will get tightened up during a run, and you really have to kind of fight with it to undo it. So what I recommend instead is an alternative way of doing a double knot. I do the little bunny ears like you've seen some kids taught how to do it. You cross them over, you go through on one side, and then you go through on the other side, and you pull it tight. And you've got a double knot that will also not come untied very easily while you're running. But to untie it, it becomes extremely easy. You just pull on one side and out it comes. So it is a much easier way for me. You don't get it locked into place where you can't get it untied. And I just prefer the method. Anyway, that's another alternative. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video on alternative lacing techniques. I hope you're able to find something useful out of it. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in any more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And keep moving!